Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, the doo-dah day.
Good evening, folks. I'm Dan Hollifield, and welcome to Last Man Standing. Stupid O'Clock was very varied and interesting show tonight. It started off a bit slow. No one seemed to figure out what they were going to say, and then stuff started happening, and due to viewer commentary, it took off like a rocket. And that was, yes, very, very much a pun because we had Zach there from the launch pad, and things got much more interesting, and despite my little nap in the middle. But here with us tonight, we've got Aunt Donna and we've got Richie, and hopefully nap time can be avoided for the next 2 hours. We shall see. But how y'all doing? I don't hear a word from either of you. And I don't have you muted.
How's that?
That's better.
Yeah.
Everything works better when you plug it up.
You make sure the red button's not lit.
If I keep drinking this NyQuil, something's going to be lit.
You're not feeling any better, or
It's gradually getting better and better. 100% yet.
Good.
So, it's been nowhere near as bad the last 2 days as it has been the last 2 weeks. Let's just let it go at that.
That's good. I finally saw a real medico and got some meds, so I'll be doing better.
Well, we finally got the spare TV and the spare Roku hooked up in the bedroom, and Lindsay has been enjoying laying in bed watching her British soap operas and Britcoms and things like that. And the dog is just absolutely overjoyed that Lindsay goes to bed on time, but still watches TV. So the little dog has been letting us sleep all night.
That's good.
Yep, and it's been rather enjoyable, rather than uh, jumping up at about this time of the day of the night and wanting to be let outside, and then not wanting to go back to bed, which forces Lindsay to spend the rest of the night sleeping in the lazy boy in the living room, which is not good for her back.
Mm.
But you know, it's an adjustment. The dog is still growing up, just about a year old at this moment. So, and already bigger than some deer that roam through the backyard.
And
I don't
she's
know what.
only a year old, right?
Yeah, I don't know what this German Shepherd got mixed with, but I'm beginning to suspect it was an Akita,
She's got another year growing.
at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got the same thing with Calvin. He's humongous, and he won't be 2 until February.
Well, I found out some disturbing news today that I was not aware of when I made my retirement plans.
What's that?
Evidently, I'm supposed to schedule my last day at work for pretty much the end of a month so that my pension uh, starts the following week.
Mm-hmm.
And if I pursue my present plan of retiring during the second week of February, it'll be 2.5 to 3 weeks before I ever get the first pension check. And I'm going, okay, ain't changing my plans. If I can't survive 3 weeks on what I've got stashed away, I've been doing it wrong because I've got nearly 7 months worth of pay in the bank right now.
So you just told him tough luck, right?
And I just said, look, hey, y'all didn't tell me that before. Uh, this plan has been in motion with this endpoint in mind for the last 7 years. And you just spring that on me basically 3 months, 3.5 months before I decide to pull the trigger. Sorry. Uh, those payments have already been scheduled.
Yep.
I am looking forward to the sudden absence of alarm clocks.
I imagine you are. Except
It's
you'll still have one called a DOG.
unfortunately for the DOG, that doesn't affect me. If I can go to sleep during stupid o'clock, I can sleep through a dog going, pay me some attention. Sorry, uh, somebody else's job.
That's something that Carl is just learning how to do is let the cat is when the cat wakes him up, roll over and go back to sleep.
hmm
Me, I've had that talent for years.
They just have to learn my schedule.
Hmm. Yeah. I tell Carl he's got the word sucker written in cat across his forehead.
Wouldn't doubt it. Um, what gets me is Lindsay has been training the cats that she's going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and feed them at about 5:30. Going outside, no matter what the weather, to put their food out. And I'm going, this may have been a mistake because they're going to get used to that and they will not
Mm-hmm.
understand. We're going to have to reschedule. Uh,
Well, that's our outside cat. The sun comes up and they're at the back porch. Where are you? It's time to
mhm,
feed us.
it really.
Yeah.
Well, Lindsay's always woken up before my alarm clock went off, even before she set up this feeding schedule for the cats. It would probably work very well for a farmer with milk cows. And I'm just going, if you slowly get them used to sane hours, you could get away with it. Just got to be
Mm-hmm.
slow and steady.
Yeah.
Oh, they have come out with policy at work, which I do not understand. They posted 3 pages of information that seemed to have 2 coherent sentences in it. And the first coherent sentence is, we don't know exactly when we're going to implement this. And the second coherent sentence was, we expect y'all to rat out anybody that does any kind of work before they're actually scheduled to start working.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there going, mm. So everybody that doesn't have the thumb up their nethers, you want people to rat them out. Um, oh, and here is Dawn. Well, as soon as we get a picture, um, there she is.
Hey,
You
Don.
feeling any better?
Well, the
Hot. Too late, bitch.
She'll be back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you should have seen her face. We met her Tuesday at Busy Corner for lunch, and the waitresses tells us that one of the specials is tacos. And Don looks at. I made her sit by Carl, so I'm sitting across the table from him. She looks at me, and I look up in the air, and she looks at Carl, who grins. And I'm thinking, I know what he's having for lunch. And I was right. Although it looked more like a burrito than a taco.
I was going to say, from the picture, it looked more like a burrito.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been one of the soft tacos.
You know. No, it was all folded in and it was, white folks. He said it was good though, so that's all that really matters, isn't it?
Yep, sure does. Let's see. Tomorrow's my last day of work this week, so I'm probably going to have to hit the grocery store on the way home. And there she is again. Devices not connected. Blank screen. I feel like I'm launching a rocket here. And there's a picture. Feel like I'm launching a rocket
What happens when you have no patience? I'm a lot less space cadet-y as I was, but the theme's coming back.
That will happen. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Once the heavy juice
I
wears
don't.
off, the pain comes back.
If I go for the stuff to make me space cadet-y, you know that I am not. So we just
It's
learned today I
understood.
can't mop the floor.
Nope.
I heard you talking about Carl's taco.
Yeah. And there's Don's taco. I said Tuesday, you just told about it in the wrong group. You never wanted to hear about it again.
When we all show up at the same Hallowcon, it's going to be a very interesting weekend.
To
They
say
have
the
really good security. They might need it.
John security, does that tell you anything?
Guess who gets to put
Oh,
her Shyster hat on?
Too bad the name of the food truck wasn't Don's Burrito, because then you could start talking about Don's Wet Burrito.
I did save you a bit, Don, when my bestie and I had lunch at El Toro today. So I brought home a burrito loco for Carl to have. So he couldn't make
Oh,
any comment about tacos.
but
and
he still made a
here's
comment
your
that
sign.
I tried.
Oh dear.
Are we friends again?
Huh?
The
Oh,
cats are
Scruffy
not
Puppy.
happy. We were gone Tuesday because we met Don. Oh, and we forgot to feed the cats before we left. They were not happy when we got home at like 4 o'clock, 4:30, something like that. So they got extra special soft food out of the can instead of the little bitty ones that we give them. I had a follow up on my ED visits on Wednesday, so we were gone then several hours. I was gone today for several hours. They did have Daddy, but he had the dreaded vacuum out. So they just weren't too happy this evening. And then tomorrow we're going to be gone again for a while. And then Saturday is Library Con. Tough.
Thank you for
No,
reminding me. I got to go birthday party shopping tomorrow for Saturday.
Hmm.
When do you get a 2-year-old book? The mom wants books. How easy I can handle that.
Oh
You gotta
yeah.
admit
really.
that's a good thing. I'm so proud of Rachel. It's like book, yeah, books. Cool.
When my great niece had her baby, she wanted some children's books. So I went in and bought there was this little 4 book series, so I bought that. And then I gave Elias a child's book that had been mine when I was his age.
Oh. Like the actual book or just a copy of the book?
The book itself, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And she made over that more than she made over the other books, and I'm like, Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Well, when she at her baby shower, he asked everybody to bring their favorite in lieu of gift or as the gift to bring what your favorite book was as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Start her library. She wanted to start her library early. So she's like, it doesn't have to be a baby book. It doesn't, but something that your favorite book as a child. So I thought, you know what, this is cool.
I don't think any of my children's books are still in print. Yeah.
And half of them have
Fine.
been banned in Boston. Ah,
Well, Little Black Sambo's been banned.
yeah,
I've got three different copies of it. I don't know how I ended up with three, but so I found out something interesting on my follow-up appointment. And one of the things that I wasn't happy about the doctor in the ED was that she never examined me. And she wouldn't talk about whether or not it could be a sinus infection, which I, I, what I thought it was. I mean, I realize she doesn't know that I grew up at Carl Clinic and Hospital. I know my body. I know what happens. I appreciate her checking that it wasn't a stroke. I was pretty sure, but then I have been known to not follow the directions, shall we say, to some things. So that was cool. So I'm telling my LPN today that she never examined me, never even looked. And she's like, "Well, let me check the report because I have that sharing thing on the My Carl app,
mm-hmm.
and on the report it says that they looked in my ears and my eyes. I remember a nurse kind of looking in my eyes, making sure how dilated they were, but I know for a fact nobody stuck anything in my ears to look in my ears, and I can prove it because they would have found the inflammation that my LPN found today. So yeah.
Get me started. Do not even get me started.
So we're back to the old rule of let me die on the way to Champaign instead of taking me to the ED in Danville.
Some places procedure gets in the damn way
I honestly,
because they
it
don't
pisses me
follow
off.
one.
It pisses me off when I see that stuff, but I'm so glad that we can actually see what they're putting in their notes now with the my chart.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can be, oh, that didn't happen. Oh, I called out doctors left and right. This didn't happen, and this didn't happen, and this didn't happen, and
Yep. Well, who could forget having a little plastic thing stuck in your ear? Especially if one of them is inflamed, which means it's a tinier hole to stick in, right? That's what she said. I can turn anything dirty. But yeah. So we got things cleared out, got put on some meds. Even after only one day, I can tell the difference. I feel like I suffered for a week and a half for nothing because she wouldn't look at me.
the
What?
Detroit Lions beat the Chiefs. Feel like football. Sorry, I like football.
I know who the Detroit Lions is. It's a
think
clue
that
in one of my favorites often.
So, how many baskets did the Detroit Lions make? Did they steal enough bases?
They found the net 21 times.
Nice.
Did they steal enough bases?
Apparently, yes.
Was there any high sticking involved?
But you should be very familiar with high sticking.
Something tells me Richie is like Carl, who thinks the first down is when they knock that first cheerleader off her feet.
No,
That's usually on the bus on the way to the game.
I understand sports ball way better than I want to because I used to actually be interested in it until I had jocks in school make me not interested in it. And I've despised it ever since. And the majority of players in multitudes of sports are just abusive, drug addicted abusers and rapists. Fuck them.
Well, believe it or not, I used to play basketball and football back in school.
I enjoyed playing sports more than watching sports, and actually playing football was one of the reasons that. And it was backyard; it wasn't like school or league or anything like that. But playing football is one of the reasons why my knees, hips, and ankles are shot and have been arthritic since I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me never to bring up football again on Last Man Standing. Damn it, it's Thursday night. Oh.
That's okay. I used to enjoy.
I don't begrudge people who like it.
I used to enjoy NASCAR races till I drove to Atlanta and discovered the pro leagues. 285.
Yeah.
You don't see nothing like that at Talladega.
That's one reason my folks started going to Florida via Alabama. So they didn't have to go through Atlanta.
Yeah, that's one reason why we've been trying to find little highways that bypass Atlanta entirely and still wind up on I-75 somewhere south of Dalton and Chattanooga. It takes longer. It's more picturesque. It's a lot safer.
Dalton, I've heard of that place. I have to go there sometime.
You should.
Yes.
Hey, Donna, do you want to go down there? Can you take me down there sometime?
Yeah, we could do a road trip.
Road trip.
Next month. Should we go next month?
Sounds good. Next month is good for me.
Dalton's only a couple hours north of Donna.
What's north of Donna?
Dalton, Illinois.
Oh yeah.
Wrong one.
Spelled differently as well. That one's Dolton.
That's like Watsika.
Dalton, yes. Oh, and
every day.
I like the way you said that.
The correct pronunciation of the city that I put in Stupid O'Clock is Hoopston. Hoopston.
Hoopston?
Yeah, Hoopston. People
sounds
see
like
it in
town or something.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to do it phonetically, so I did it the best I could. But yeah, it's Hoopston, not Hoopston. And you better not say Hoopston when you're in Hoopston. You get a little upset.
Like just south of Peoria is San Jose. Spelled S-A-N space J-O-S-E, and it's San Jose.
Yeah.
So there were two truckers in a bird. There were two truckers in St. Louis. That's what it was. Louisville. I'll learn to tell the joke right one of these days. It's not like I speak for a living.
Have you been into my Mesrick?
No, I actually had to go in to the office yesterday. I am sore as all get out because I'm in the middle of cleaning out 16 years worth of clutter from my cube because going in January, I'm going to have to start hoteling when I'm actually in the office. Shared space that you log in and say, I want to be in today, and it tells you what desk you're going to sit at for the day. So again, I'm clearing out 16 years worth of cubicle clutter, including from a time that I had my own office. So I had a lot of junk. So I'm very sore and I'm not very with it today. Anyways, two truckers were in Louisville, and they were arguing over how to pronounce it. So finally, they looked at the girl behind the counter and they're like, all right, could you just tell us very slowly what the name of this place is? Because we've got a bet going on how to pronounce it. So can you pronounce it really, really slowly? And the girl just looks at them both and goes, Burger King.
Yeah.
A little bit too specific. Yep.
But
And
there's
I
no
can
joke.
commiserate about the cubicle cleaning because I've got to, in the next 15 weeks, I've got to empty my lab of all my
Yeah.
and I've
Carl just
been
took stuff.
putting stuff in there for about 7 years.
Yeah,
I
Carl
believe
just
I'm going to
started
leave the
taking a
coffee
box
pot.
at a time out.
I have done that, and I get home and Lindsay goes, "Where are you going to put that? What's in that?"
Let's see, Carl's been retired, 5 years now? And there is still a tote, and not a small tote, one of those big totes, down in my library that he has yet to go through of stuff he brought home from the office. Good thing I got a big house.
I wouldn't worry unless he's poked holes in the lid for some reason. I just keep looking around there and I go, what am I going to do with all of this stuff? I mean, obviously, the computers belong to the factory, so I can't take those.
Well, you can, but that might cause some other issues.
Yeah, that definitely caused an issue. And probably in about 20 years when somebody actually realized it was gone. But besides, I've got better computers here at the house. I wouldn't want any of that junk. The company bought that crap. Oh, I'm the only person in the entire factory that has extra RAM in their computer. Because I had a couple of them die on me, so I had leftover RAM sticks that I transferred over into the new computer. And it actually runs pretty well. And
Have RAM sticks in it. You do it right there, will run better.
Well, I can't help it. They had the entire lab wired up, and there was unfortunately there was voltage fluctuations all through the electrical system. The lights would flicker, and it actually killed 2 computers before I could get anybody to pay attention to me and get the wiring checked. But I harvested the RAM out of those 2 dead computers and stuck it in the new one they gave me, and it does really well. It outperforms any other computer in the building. But I've got a lot of stuff. There's stuff that I am definitely not going to bring home. The printouts of every test that I have done since I got the job, just in case something happened to the network copies and I had to reproduce everything I've ever done, which would probably take me about 3 days to type. And we're talking about 7 years worth of work. I've got to copy everything I have ever done for the company onto some USB sticks and hand those over to a couple of trusted individuals that, well, let's just say when they find out everything that I have been doing for them that they never realized before, and they go, "Why isn't this being done anymore?" These folks can go, "Okay, I can fix this." Because I can't train anybody. There's nobody with the same kind of interest
Mm-hmm.
in all the stuff that I've taught myself over the past 10 or 15 years at company expense. Not that they gave me training courses, it's just whenever there was a day when I did not have a test scheduled, I would go, okay, how do I do this in Excel? And Google would tell me, and I would make notes and I would figure out how to use it, and things got fancy. Um, but they don't want me to train anybody. They want to do away with the job. Or actually, what they want to do is do away with the job title and spread out the work over other people that have absolutely no idea what it is that I do. And expect them to pick up everything that I do
Yep.
within one day.
Yep.
Ain't gonna
Sounds like
happen.
corporate.
It ain't gonna happen. What is gonna happen is that the other people they say, well, now you've got to handle Dan's workload, are gonna go, sorry, ain't part of my job. Here's the job description, ain't part of my job.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. You're gonna have to negotiate that with the union. That's gonna go over like a lead potato. And I don't see why it's going to save the company.
It usually doesn't. But corporate
And
is stupid.
they're just they're just going to try and, well, what it's going to wind up doing is my supervisor is going to wind up having to do everything that I do the hard way, not the way that I do it, but the hard way, because he has no idea how many easy ways I've found out over the last decade to do the job. I feel sorry for him. I really do. They're not going to get what they want. They're not going to get a tenth of what they want. And then they'll just have to recreate the job again, but they'll call it something different so that nobody looks like, oh, we made a mistake by getting rid of that job.
Mm-hmm.
Douglas Adams came up with something that was an absolutely perfect idea. The perfect concept to cover this is called the somebody else's problem.
SCP fields.
Yes.
Very familiar with them.
Yes.
I've been
Yeah.
teaching Crow about SEP fields. They've been like, why does such and such SEP field? SEP? Somebody else's problem.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yep.
You guys are gonna have to deal with me being orange today. That light was just
Okay.
too bright. It was giving me a headache.
Okay.
Understood.
Oompa, oompa, doopity dun.
If who doesn't have a taco for you? No.
On your own head be it. Ah, I used to have that problem till I discovered the perfect filter to change the light to what the camera would make my uh, skin tone look more realistic, and it is basically. Oh, come on now. There we go.
Donna said next time you do that, take your shirt off.
Hmm.
I don't think my shirt was what Donna wanted me to take off. It's basically a cereal bowl from the supermarket, and it fits over the lamp, and it turns everything blue. You see how much more orange this is. You might need a couple of these over that light bulb.
I think what it comes down to is that the lampshades have that like that. Yeah, they're not yellowed, but they have that yellow tint to them,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and to
A
make it a
simple,
softer light.
a simple see-through blue scarf would you could put it over the lamps before you come on, and then take them off afterwards. Be sure to take them off afterwards
Hmm.
so nothing burns.
Well, the light bulb I'm using is an LED, and it's quite bright for an LED. But I can leave that plastic bowl on there with no fear of it ever melting because the light bulb does not get that hot.
What speed is your wireless at home? Gone.
Um,
If it's only a 2.4 gigahertz network, there are light bulbs you can buy from Menards and Walmart that are Fight FEIT. That you could get an app on your phone and you can actually dial in exactly what color you want it to be.
oh, I'm not that picky. If y'all don't want to have to look at orange me, then close your eyes.
You
I'm
look good in orange.
We've got one in the front porch light. We've got one in the balcony light. We've got three in the living room. And those are all the ones we currently have
Hmm.
installed. Although we do have more from when we used to live at the house. Um, yeah.
Mm.
My
Yeah, I
favorite
was.
thing was saying, who red alert and all the lights in the house would go dark and all of a sudden the lights in the living room would go, it would play a klaxon and then Mortal Kombat.
That
I
one.
was amazed to find out how much difference just a simple filter over the light bulb would do.
Hmm. That wouldn't do in my living room. There's three lamps in there, and they have to be at their brightest because the living room is so big that really doesn't light. Three lamps really don't light up the living room. We need about six, but three's gonna have to do it.
Oh, I
That
had to
hangs
take
down in front of the camera.
I had
We
to take the LED bulb out of my walk-in closet and put in a very bright incandescent bulb. Otherwise, I could not see colors in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really difficult when you're trying to pick out clothes to wear to work. Oh, wait, I didn't want the brown shirt. I wanted the blue shirt. Sorry. They all look gray. Um, I love the electric bill savings that the LED bulbs give us, but I also there are instances where I need
You need to
actual
see.
light. Um, in the
Mm-hmm.
hallway at the bookshelves, I've got to have an incandescent bulb in there so I can actually see the words on the spines of the books rather than just the general outline of them. Um, Lindsay goes through the entire house and rarely turns on a light. I have to have lights if I'm not sleepwalking. And thankfully, I haven't done that since there was about a year long period from when I transitioned from swing shift to daytime only, where at about 3 o'clock in the morning, I would get up, still asleep, go to the bathroom, still asleep, walk back through the closet, get dressed, go out to the car, and drive to work. About 3 hours, 3.5 hours earlier than I needed to wake up. I finally figured it out. I was dreaming that I heard the alarm clock.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was my bladder supplying the alarm clock noise in my head. Time to get up. Nope, wasn't. Well, temporarily, not time to go to work. I also went through this when I first started working at the factory. I used a clock radio, and I would wake up to a radio station. No problem. After about 10 years or so, I wasn't waking up with the radio station as quickly as I needed to. So, shifted to the alarm. Finally found an alarm that wasn't too jarring and abrupt. One that would start off quiet and then gradually get louder, and that was fine. That one worked for another 5 or 10 years, and then I was sleeping through that. So we got one that was rude, and by the time Lindsay and I were married, she would dread that thing going off because I'd be laying there, sound asleep, quite probably snoring. The alarm would go off, and I go and wake up. That lasted until we got cell phones, and then I found something that would wake me up, but was not this. Uh, Somebody just stabbed me through the head with an ice pick sort of wake up call.
I think I need to change mine because I have music that plays for my alarm clock, and I think I really need to change it because it feels disrespectful at this point in time that I wake up to Bray Wyatt's entrance music from WWE. I wake up and he just died.
Mm.
Ah,
There's an irony in there that I'm like, I think I need to change it.
yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to turning the alarm off in my cell phone unless I'm at a convention. or unless I have someplace, some appointment that I need to be to on time that requires me to wake up earlier than I would normally wake up.
Or if Lindsay just says you better get your ass out of bed by this time.
So far, that's never happened. We've been together for 17 years.
Oh, I know. I'm just thinking.
Well, Carl knows better than to try to wake me himself. Because if you're too close to me and you try to wake me up, I wake up swinging. Because I guess assume I'm being attacked. He will stand in the doorway and call my name until I wake up. If I haven't awakened with the alarm.
Because of my sisters. Well, all three of us were just assholes waking each other up. So we became professionals with waking each other up from a distance. I told Misty, when we got married, I'm like, if you wake me up, do it very gently. If you wake me up roughly, I will swing before I have a chance to open my eyes because of what Sheila and Brenda did. She didn't believe me.
Uh-oh.
For the first year and change of marriage, it wasn't an issue. She would wake me up gently, but she still didn't believe that I'd wake up swinging. Well, year and change into the marriage, and we have an Italian Greyhound. The Italian Greyhound ran over my face while I was asleep.
Uh-oh.
Thankfully, she was fast enough to be out of range when I came up swinging. Misty was in the doorway, and she saw it happen, and she's like... And then a moment later, I'm like, why am I sitting up? And she explained what happened, and she's like, you're right, you do swing. I'm like, I told you. Why did you not believe me?
At least you didn't swing on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swung a couple times. I don't do it every time, so Ted's more just touch my foot and I'll wake up. And then you can, that sounds really bad, then you can work your way up.
Slowly. It's too nice a job to rush.
Mm-hmm.
Touch my foot just to screw me up, and I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Yes, I have seen Rocky Horror about 500 times.
Yeah.
Soothing.
I also happen to be a very active sleeper, which is probably the main reason we don't sleep together. And he told me one time it's when he was still working, and I used to go with him when he'd visit the different offices. And the hotel had screwed up and gave us a king-size bed. King-size bed should be big enough, right? Mm. He got up in the middle of the night, went to the bathroom, came back, and laid back down. And he said he looked over at me, and I just looked so sweet lying there. And he was thinking, why don't we sleep together anymore? And about that time, I went, pow! And he's like, why?
Oh, yeah, now I remember.
Yeah.
Oop, there's a ping. We have a Chris.
Hey,
Hello,
Chris.
everyone.
How you
Hi.
doing?
Tired, but other than that, good. Apologize for not being on here Saturday night, but I was away visiting family.
quite all right.
I don't even remember if I was on here Saturday night. Uh,
I managed to get back in time to be on.
Well, I traveled 614 miles between Friday afternoon and Monday evening.
I am so sorry.
And that doesn't even include driving around. I got in while I was being chauffeured.
Mm.
So it was probably closer to 800 total miles.
I remember having to take trips like that.
Hmm.
I don't look forward to the next time. Ah.
Well, damn. I can't help it. The family I visited lives in 300 miles away.
Oh no, Lindsay's oldest daughter lives in Hampton, Virginia. That's at least an 8-hour drive nonstop.
Mm, yeah.
Um, Lindsay's other two kids live out in New Mexico. That's 24 hours nonstop.
Mm.
I ain't doing nonstop again.
I was gonna say you need to stop and walk around. That, trust me, that
Mm.
helps your
Oh, yeah.
sciatica.
Oh, I stop and I walk around for a little bit, and then after I've done that, I'll get back on the road.
I've done the 24 hours nonstop one time, and that was on a motorcycle.
Oh, that just makes my spine even hurt more thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I started in Athens, Georgia. I went to um, Denton, Texas
Hmm.
in 18 hours.
Oh, my happiness.
Yes, indeed. I've always wanted a picture of the sign, the
Hmm.
actual Denton, Texas sign, because it was similar. It wasn't identical. And then about 2 days later, I had to go to Daytona. So I went from Denton, Houston area to Daytona without stopping for anything but gas and food.
Wow.
I was walking bow-legged for about 2 days at Daytona Beach, and I slept for about 18 hours once I got there.
I'll
Yeah, I'm
bet.
sure you did.
What's really rough is my new CIO, the law firm he was at prior was Denton.
Hmm.
So every time anyone talks about his old firm, because of years of Rocky, as soon as I hear Denton, my brain goes, "Yay, Denton, the home of happiness!"
Hmm.
And I've said it aloud in a few meetings.
Ooh,
Uh-huh. Well, not only Rocky, but shock treatment. And
Shot breathing, get you moving like a real live wire.
Denton, you're okay. Yes. I have a
Sorry.
soundtrack to that and Friend of the Paradise just on a continuous loop in the back of my mind somewhere. Sometimes it plays where I can hear it, but I know it's always playing. That and the soundtrack to Forbidden Planet, which is much more soothing and lets me sleep.
Hmm.
I don't know what about a theremin that I found soothing and lets me sleep, but and it shows up in the music that I create. I don't have a theremin, but somehow I can find a way to imitate it.
I could see where it would be soothing if you had the right song.
Mm. I spent many decades listening to electronic music back when synthesizers were just basic tools. And
Come here.
Here, come here. Is that Kelby?
I've got stuff on vinyl. I've got
Oh,
stuff on vinyl from lots of
No,
people
no,
that were doing
not
um,
my idea.
electronic stuff.
Oh,
And sometimes I'll pull that up electronically on the computer
mhm.
and listen, and I go, "Oh yeah, I still remember every scratch on the album." Um, oh,
I
um,
have a mental soundtrack that goes off a lot.
one of the
Okay,
So
you
I
things.
froze.
will, when things start getting kind of spooky, I'll.
Okay,
So
we
what?
missed all of that because you frozen and roboted.
Yeah, and you got choppy.
I've got a weird mental soundtrack that goes on. So when things start getting kind of spooky, my brain does that theremin from the horror
yeah,
Forbidden
movies,
morning.
Planet.
and I just did it again, didn't I?
Yep.
Mhm.
You got the theremin, and then yeah.
Yeah, but we knew where you were going from there.
Yeah.
Another thing that really astounds me is on YouTube there is a live performance video of Iron Butterfly doing Inagata Davida, the long version.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
it is exactly the same as the album. I mean, seriously, note for note. What I think they did, they took the album cut and they put it to the video rather
Probably.
than a live video. But when it plays in my head, I hear the skips in the album and the scratches on the album.
Yeah.
I have
That can be
I'll.
annoying if you've got a really repeating scratch somewhere where it skips over and over again, and that's the version that is in your head, and those skips are right there.
Yeah.
Um, had a guitar player one time that was absolutely fascinated with Jimi Hendrix, and he was trying to go, "Oh yeah, I know this was played backwards for this album. I wonder what it sounds like forwards." I go, "We can find out." And this is pre-computer. So
Mhm.
put the album on the turntable. Did not start the motor. He says, "Okay, I want to hear it from the album first, and then I want to hear it backwards." So we played the backward masking recording from the album with the record player. He goes, "Okay, now I want to hear it the other way." Stop the motor, and I put my finger in the near the middle of the LP, dropped the needle, spun the thing backwards, and managed to get as close to the right speed as possible. Recorded both, took my very primitive recording studio, spliced the two together
Mhm.
so that it played forwards and then played backwards into the album cut.
Okay.
He was
Good night,
over the
Rich.
moon. Good night, Richie.
Hey, Rich.
And when I had the recording studio, I was doing a lot of stuff with
Mhm.
actual physical tape delays. I had
Mhm.
three reel to reel tape recorders. One of them set up to record what was live, another one set up a couple of feet later with tape running to play it, and then a couple of feet later would record both of the signals from the other two. So turns out you can get specific delay times by just moving the reel-to-reel tape recorders further apart and using a longer string of tape between them. Played with that sucker for about a year and a half because I was a fan of Robert Fripp, who invented that
Mhm.
little technique, and Brian Eno, who is Brian Eno. I mean, what can I say? Uh, did all kinds of weird stuff with it.
Mhm. Weren't those the two driving forces behind King Crimson?
Robert Fripp, yes. Brian guessed it a couple of times, but um, basically with King Crimson, whenever they wanted to make an album,
Hmm.
former members would go, drop everything.
Hmm.
Rob wants us in the studio, and they would go. And this included Keith Emerson
Yep.
and John Wetton and
Yep. They would say,
a lot of people you know from other bands.
yeah.
Um, Folks that were with Yes or with Asia or with even older bands.
Was it the heat of the
Emerson, Lake and
moment?
Palmer, like I said, and then they just come running. Robert
Yeah.
Fripp wants to record an album. Let's go. This is going to be fun. You can sit and watch videos of King Crimson doing live recordings and stuff, and you can see how intricate some of this stuff actually
Mm-hmm.
was as a live performance. I mean, there's one concert where they had three drummers.
Um, I actually kind of found King Crimson because of John Wetton, me being interested in Asia when they first came out.
Hmm. I'm not a bit surprised.
And then, of course, Jeff Downs was in the Buggles.
Hmm.
And then he is in one of the versions of Yes right now. There's two versions.
Hmm.
They've crossed membership several times, and
Several dozen times, yeah.
and it's
Bill
interesting.
Bruford, it just all these amazing people.
Yeah, Rick Wakeman, Steve Howe, Trevor Rabin does scratch.
Hmm.
Trevor Rabin done a lot of soundtracks in addition to his work with Yes.
So Don, I dropped a music video in the secret humor group that I think you'll enjoy. It's one of my favorite John Hartford songs.
Just now, or
Or a little earlier, too. Yeah, it probably will be showing it by now.
That's the thing about music; it connects everybody, whether we want it to or not.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
is it the
Poor
I
old
saw it.
Prairie Spears
Oh,
Blues.
I will have to listen to that, but I'm not going to do it right now because of we don't
Understood.
want to get banned. We don't want to get banned.
Oh, not yeah, and he would with that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Hartford hit it big at the beginning by writing "Gentle on My Mind" because everybody, everybody sang that song,
Yep.
Hmm.
and it made him financially able to not sell his soul, and he could do the music that he wanted to do. And
Hmm.
oh, I've got all his albums and all his weird songs. I
Hmm.
love that man.
Who
Well,
was it?
my favorite song by him is Southern Nights.
Mm,
I'm trying to
I,
remember this.
I think Gentle on My Mind and Natural to
yeah.
Be Gone kind
Uh,
of influenced me in my, shall I say, social relationships
yeah.
when I was younger.
Yeah. Not now. Don't get me wrong. I like Gentle on My Mind. It's a great song. Did he do the original of Wichita Lineman, or did he do a cover of it?
I don't remember Glenn. I don't. That was Glenn Campbell.
I thought that's who you were talking about.
I'm talking about
No,
John Hartford.
Oh,
the
okay.
the the
Because
songwriter that.
I think about
Yeah,
Glenn Campbell's version of Gentle on My Mind.
Yeah.
he's
Well,
he's the, he's the he's the one that kind of made it famous.
Yeah.
But John Hartford's the one who wrote it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. But I was going to say because John never did Southern Nights, and then when you said Wichita Lineman, I realized that you were talking about that other dude
Yeah.
who did some silly, silly things in his life.
Yeah. Well,
Facebook
But
is
very
usually
few of us are perfect.
um,
And some of us have made bad judgments due to chemicals and other things. So,
it was a chemical, but it was kind of a, shall we say, natural chemical.
yeah.
And little Miss Tanya was a lot of that problem. But anyway, Hartford also could steer a steamboat. He learned how to be a steamboat captain too.
Cool.
And that's so yeah, he's got a whole album on steamboats and a book about a steamboat that got caught in the mud on the I think it was off the Ohio River.
Mm. Yeah, there
did
was
did it
actually.
get grounded or did it sink?
It got grounded.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and it sat in the middle of a cornfield for years before anybody did anything about it.
Hmm.
Now that sounds like the fellow that wrote the uh, Dirk Pitt novels.
Oh,
He
there
he
was another
excavated.
songwriter. There was
There's an
another songwriter
interesting.
who did a song about a steamboat stuck like that, but that was on the Mississippi. So
Yeah.
evidently, steamboats need to keep away from them damn cornfields.
Well,
That's hard to
uh,
do when the river floods. You
one
never
of the
know how shallow it is.
one of the interesting exhibits I went to is there's a museum about a riverboat that was recovered in the Missouri River.
Hmm.
It's in Kansas City. Apparently, these people chopped down wood that was just growing out of the river, and they didn't go deep enough. So if you weren't careful, you would hit
The tree
these
trunks.
partially cut down trees, and if you hit it just right, that boat was going down.
Yeah.
If you
Hmm.
didn't get off, you were going down with it. Well, this particular boat went down and it got flooded, but the water was so cold where it was. When they eventually found it, they were able to get a good portion of it back that was still intact. So they put it in this little mini museum, and they did a video presentation of stuff about it. And it was one of the more fascinating little side
Hmm.
trips I took during one of my visits to family in Kansas City.
Good morning, Mike Jimmy.
Hey,
Good
Mike.
morning.
Yeah. The the river had flooded, and they went too far to one side, and it went down, and it got stuck in a cornfield. And the book is about how it happened, what they tried to do to get it out of the cornfield, and nothing ever worked. So,
So, okay, a couple week ago, so ago, we were at Menards and we saw that big blow up mummy that's been going around Facebook. I don't know if you've seen it, but I took some pictures of it and I just posted them in Uncle Carl's group and just went back on there to look. And Facebook is like, "Do you want to start an event for this?" And I'm like, "What?" And then called it off again. You gotta go on Facebook and if you're an Uncle Carlos,
yeah, let's do a mummy event.
Are you my mommy?
I need one. Somebody's going to have to say that.
Yeah, well,
I'm yeah.
me being me. I got to go down the hall. I'll be right back.
Have y'all seen what this mummy looks like?
I don't remember seeing it, no.
Yeah. Well, go on the Uncle Carl's group and you'll see it. And the way they said that it should be Dawn's event makes it even worse because of the way it looks.
Oh, totally understood. Like Jimmy.
Yeah, totally.
You know how messed up my day was? I didn't even finish my second cup of coffee. I didn't even realize I didn't finish it. I looked at it and went, "Oh, I didn't finish this."
Wow.
Well, you know, for we're being honest, I didn't finish my fourth cup. I left about half, well, almost all of it. But had to leave early to look under the hood to make sure little BB or his sister wasn't under there.
So when they moving in?
If they come in on their own anytime. If they have to be coerced in, it's going to have to be after Hallowcon. Because I'm not going to bring in. We're thinking there's only 3 now. We're thinking one of the little something happened to one of the little kittens because we've only seen 2 lately. But I'm not going to bring 3 stray cats in, introduce them to ours, and then leave for Hallowcon.
Wow.
For that long. And leave them unsupervised. I would want a castle to come back to.
Especially with Calvin teaching them things.
Yes. Oh my God.
There's part of me that's going. I'm so afraid that he and little BB are going to make fast friends.
Oh, and then get into a ton of crap.
Yeah. And I really don't want more kittens after what Calvin put us through. I've had 2 different people tell me they were getting cats and they're not getting kittens because of the reports on Calvin.
That's good for older cats.
When I worked at the shelter, I'm like, I don't want kittens. I like them. They're cute, but I don't want one in my home.
No. When Rip and Loki were kittens, even though she named herself Loki, they weren't like Calvin. They weren't, they ran, they played, but it was really easy to train them. You don't get on the table, you don't get on the counter. Calvin's been here a year now, 1.5 years, and I still haven't got that through to him.
Yeah,
and so probably never will.
No, not at this point.
No.
And that husband of mine, I forget what we were having for supper, but Charcoal beat him to his chair in the dining room. And she got up on her chair and she just sits there like a little princess, just so sweet, like a little lady. And Carl gave her a little bite of his supper because he was going to prove that she would eat like a little lady off the table. But
Uh-huh.
bless her soul. Hi, sweetie.
Good morning.
She knocked it off on the chair and then ate it, which she'd been fed on the chairs before, so she knew that was okay. But even though Daddy put it on the table, she knew that she wasn't supposed to eat it on the table. Couldn't do that with Calvin.
Something hurting cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I went through something really weird this morning. I did not have my first cup of coffee, which usually happens about 6:30 in the morning until almost 8:30.
Mm.
That was a weird coffee day. That was
Did you sleep in?
No, I was at work. I was busy. There was
Yeah.
there was a lot of stuff that had to be done. I didn't have time. I knew if I made the cup of coffee, it would get cold before I had a chance to pick it up the first time. So I
Mm.
just let it sit, and then when I had everything caught up, here come the hot water.
That's when
And
you use it at an IV.
Oh yeah.
IV.
Mm.
I, I pretty much needed to just look up Juan Valdez and say, "Hey man, you got any more of that?" So I really need a hit. Um, I think instead of my usual 3 to 4 cups of coffee today, I only had 2.
Mm.
so it was a weird coffee day.
Yeah.
Very much.
Mine's starting
Um,
normal.
I
I
don't know
say,
how I
you're
made
okay.
it through all that stuff I had to do without a cup of coffee first,
Yeah.
but I
I didn't
did.
do too bad. I drank 3 out of 4.
Mm.
I have my 2 cups. And I'm okay. Wait a minute, was that my third cup?
What
God.
used to when we had a a coffee maker, I'd make an entire pot and I would drink it until that ran out, and that was all my coffee for the day. And I was wired enough to get everything done that I needed to get done. Well, coffee makers have a way of breaking down in various and sundry unpleasant ways.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So now we've got one of the little K cup things,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
but we also have a grinder and a French press. And if
Go for
I've
that
been a
one.
very, very, very good boy, Lindsay will get out the coffee that needs to be ground and make special coffee for me. After which I make sure I'm a very, very good boy the rest of the day. Because I do not, I want to reinforce this habit, but
You'll get there.
uh, maybe
Just like
in my
herding cats.
in my li-
Maybe.
in my lifetime, maybe. Um, it just depends.
You can also
Uh,
just ask.
I hate to ask. I really
Communication
do.
is important.
I can I can get by with anything from little packets of instant to, oh my God, this is real coffee.
Mm.
Uh, but you know, I don't. Part of my childhood was watching my dad ask my mom to do stuff that he could have easily done for himself. And I swore early on I would never do that to any wife of mine.
I actually agree there. But there is a difference between really liking something and having your partner enjoying making that thing for you,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping that in mind, and using someone because
Yeah.
you don't feel like it, because there's
Well,
Yeah. There
those
goes
days-
my life.
she's a partner, not a waitress.
yeah.
That was my point of view.
Yeah.
Carl, quit listening, Carl.
He's
But every
snoring. I
has
can
their
hear
own-
him snoring. He's asleep.
Every relationship has their own thing and way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't eat breakfast. I make breakfast for Luz whenever she's here because I like it.
No.
Oh, Lindsay loves it when I cook for her, but I do it so seldom because she insists on cleaning up the mess I make, and I make huge messes.
Yeah, that's why we got a dishwasher.
This goes beyond dishwashing.
When it runs twice, I don't care.
That's funny.
Well, especially now because Luz can't bend over because there's a
Yes.
belly in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Sweetheart, you do the dishwasher. I made a mess. I mean, the dinner is good. Totally worth it.
Oh, wait till you have to put her shoes on for her.
In a couple of on is not the problem because she's got zippers. Because she's got custom made shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But taking them off, that can't be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the couple of the first 2 years after my accident, I couldn't lift my foot more than a half an inch off the floor, and I certainly couldn't bend over. So Carl had to basically dress me, put my shoes on, and if I wasn't up when he went to work, I spent the day in my nightgown.
Oh.
No shame
Yeah.
involved there.
It sucks, but
Yeah. And I'm like hobbling from the bed to the wheelchair, and I don't know. I don't feel bad about it. I'm mad at the doctor who thought steroids would get me out of the wheelchair instead of physical therapy, but I probably wouldn't have gained as much weight as I did. But such is life. It led to the doctor who did my hernia surgery officially diagnosing me as spoiled. Well, he had done my lumpectomy. He had worked on my mom, so we talked. He knew that all our bedrooms were on the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Scavone is a wonderful doctor. He's not a sociable doctor. Very kind of stern,
Mm-hmm.
Business. And after he did my surgery, he told me, now don't even try to go upstairs tonight, but try in a day or two. And so when I went back the following week for my follow-up, to get the stitches out, he says, well, when did you get upstairs? I said, well, I managed to get upstairs the next day. And he says, "That's good. That's good." He said, "And when did you come down? When did you first come downstairs?" And I said, "Today."
Mm.
And he
Mhm.
looked at me and he's like, "Well, how did you get your meals?" And I'm like, "My husband brought them to me." "He works, doesn't he?" "Well, yes." "Well, what about lunch?" "Oh, he came home." And I will never forget the look on the nurse's face when Dr. Scavone smiled very widely and said, "I hereby diagnose you as spoiled." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know that."
Mhm.
Worth it.
I
Well,
blame my brothers.
Lindsay cooked me a special breakfast and lunch for tomorrow, and I now want to. Well, she's Saturday, so I can't do anything. She her school stuff that she's got to go and be a teacher's aide. They've got to go through their training thing on Saturday, so they have to do it every year. So it's no big deal.
Hmm.
But I'm thinking Sunday I need to clear my slate and think of something to cook for her, cause I don't cook that often, but she enjoys it very much every time I do.
Mhm.
So I've got to come up with something really nice that doesn't make much of a mess.
Well, that was uh, that was giving me all sorts of ideas to suggest to you. Till you said that doesn't really make a mess.
Yes,
It's
I'm
cooking. It
well
makes a
aware.
mess.
I'm well aware. I'm uh
Yeah.
considering my limited cooking skills.
Mm.
There are very few things that I can do that don't tend to get repeated a lot.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking about time I do something I only do once or twice a year, whatever, and nothing really complicated. Just
Yep.
got to be there and make sure everything's going right and stir it constantly so it
Mhm.
doesn't burn.
Yeah.
You heard earlier what my recipe for Carl for supper in exchange for him vacuuming my office. I brought him home a burrito
Oh.
from the taco.
Mhm.
And this thing's huge, so I don't have to cook tomorrow night either.
Nice.
Um, we know better than that. In my case, it doesn't matter how big that burrito is. It's going to vanish quickly. It's like when I cook an entire crock pot full of chili and I go, "Oh yeah, this will hold us for 3 days at least." Half.
No,
No.
no, it doesn't.
You ain't talking
It's too
about
good to stay.
several
Yeah. It even
gallons of chili.
it even goes quicker when winter gets here.
Hmm.
Oh,
I miss it.
you miss chili?
I can't have it.
Oh, I'm
Most
Oh,
sorry.
most chilies have tomatoes in
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
Let's
Mine
see.
would, yes indeed.
I make mine with V8 juice instead of tomato juice.
there was
Now,
one on Tasting History of Max Miller that didn't use any tomatoes whatsoever, just chili powder and meat and fat. Yeah, let me get this for you guys, because it is literally one of the first chili recipes ever written, which is why I
I'd
thought.
say you could always do a white chili.
Yeah, because I was started to say I had a friend that did a white chili. It was really good.
Well, and Chris has actually had my chili
I've had your
at
chili.
Hallowcon.
Yep.
It was pretty good.
So you know how all out I go with it. So
There you go.
It was much better than John's was.
Didn't John's have carrots in it?
John's had damn peppers that were freaking hotter than Hades.
That too.
Well, mine
I
had
don't
peppers too,
mind
just not as
carrots. I can
many.
eat it. I don't mind carrots. I can eat them in it as long as they're sliced up enough. But, I got them too hot. Did you see Joe post that thing about the guy that created the Carolina Reapers is trying to make
Oh
one of these?
yes.
No. Oh boy.
Don't give John. I saw that. I'm like, don't give John ideas.
Yeah, because John would be trying to do that crap. And not because he wanted them hot. It's just he did it just to make everybody else miserable and see their expressions when they do it.
Jimmy, if I tap on that link, it's gonna pop me out of the show.
If you middle mouse button, it actually opens a new tab.
If I do what?
If you click on the link of your middle mouse button, it'll open a new tab.
I'm on a
Yeah.
tablet.
She doesn't have that. Yeah.
Let me DM it to you.
Thank you.
How about that? Yes.
Yay! Mac Jimmy to the rescue.
There we go.
Hey,
Figure stuff out.
Instead of Jim Dandy, it's Mac Jimmy to the rescue.
I'm gonna have to turn the AC back on, or I'll have to take my shirt off. It's getting warm in here.
Yep.
Yeah.
it's funny as the little bit that I was actually on stupid o'clock tonight.
Mhm.
Oh damn! He's gonna turn the air on.
Aunt Donna almost got happy.
Yeah. If you
Believe
ask
me,
real nicely, Mac Jimmy might help you out, Aunt Donna.
Oh boy, what now? What do I have to do now?
Take your shirt off.
I wasn't gonna say it because I would. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
Donna.
Don,
You can just say it.
Don,
Can you stutter through that again, Don?
You never know. Make it a yes.
jump to the bottom of a hole. Stop digging.
High from loose. Take
If I have started digging out that hole, I'm just gonna keep going in it because I started digging it on purpose.
Well, I'm sorry to say there's nothing impressive about my physique. So I don't know what Aunt Donna's interest is.
I'm gonna be honest. After 6 weeks of not being able to get any physical stuff done, I mean, my left arm is tiny compared to my right at the moment. There's nothing impressive about mine either. I'm just a needle.
It was just funny that night you were on without a shirt and you said, just deal with it. And I went, yeah, I am. Dealt with it just fine.
Yep. Donna had a happy.
Basically, I
It
look
really
like
doesn't take much.
Okay,
I
so
look
we're
like a tiny wooden dowel with a balloon tied in the middle.
Mhm.
So Donna, we've tried to get
The
Dan
first
to
thing
take
in my mind
off.
was, "Oh, you're pregnant too."
No, I just got a beer gut.
So
I'm just
yeah,
I'm just a 65-year-old farmer with a beer gut. Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you got
That's fine.
Dunlop disease
That's fine.
yet?
Like that's the point
Dunlop.
where
Hey,
if you don't have one, people are gonna look at you funny.
You know what Dunlop's disease is, don't you?
Belly done lapped over your belt.
Yep.
hey Donna, we've tried
Hey,
to get
Don.
Dan to take his shirt off. We've tried to get Mike Jimmy to take their shirt off. Okay, Chris, you gotta take one for the team. Take your shirt off.
Yeah, it's Chris's turn.
Oh
Well,
my!
Yes. You tease you. And they call
Mhm.
women teasers.
I know.
Yeah, but
You
this
try.
there's the thing. Like guys only have to take one thing off. Women usually have more,
Want to
and
bet?
then the rating goes up. So double standard.
You want to bet?
I don't care.
Even as
ours would go through the roof.
even when she was
Finally, subscribers.
yes, even when she was single, Aunt Donna was known to go total commando.
Dang it, girl.
I mean, I know another one. I know several.
Oh, the night Carl and I met, I had on an oversized hot pink shirt, pink twill slacks, and pink high heels, and hot pink high heels, and that's all I had on.
Yeah.
So is it any wonder he wanted to talk to me till 6 in the morning?
I don't think talking was what he had in mind.
Exactly.
No, we were too much in the public eye. Talking was all it could do.
Mm.
You wouldn't believe it, but he was a gentleman back then too.
I can
Yeah,
actually
lots of
see
48 hours. And then you
I
gotta
couldn't
call the
talk.
doctor.
No, I couldn't talk him into nothing until like our third or fourth date.
You know what?
Yeah.
I could see Carl being that way.
Yep.
I can.
Yeah, but I done changed him.
She corrupted them for the betterment of their lives.
Yeah, I tell you though,
Who said
once
that
he
to
gets going,
Mm.
no
That's
wonder we're still married after 37 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't think. I mean, some people said it lasts till 4 or 5.
Mm.
Shit, some don't make it 4 or 5 months.
Some don't make it 4 or 5 days.
Well, you could probably believe the amount of people, especially my father's family, who was counting on their fingers because we met and married in 3 months,
Mm.
Hmm.
and they figured there was going to be something coming along, and there never was. But nope, not the reason.
Nope.
Yes,
mean,
dirty.
I'm gonna be honest. Like Lucy and I don't know each other. Like, we don't even know one another. Well, we know one another for just over a year now. But like, we haven't been in a relationship for a year until next month. Like, yeah. But didn't exactly plan a baby. On the other hand, we're not both 17.
Does one ever actually consciously plan?
Oh yeah, no. We got friends around us that have literally planned a baby. I want to get pregnant in 2 weeks, and they did.
Yeah.
More power to them.
Yeah, people do that.
Is there a special phone number you have to call to get this accomplished, or there are volunteers at helplines going? Yeah, we can fit you in on Tuesday afternoon.
This is 555 Stork.
Yeah.
It's called calendars and ovary testing and all that fun.
Yeah.
Well, you get to a certain age, you got a history behind you. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'd had 2 failed engagements by the time I was 25. That's when a
I'm
certain
one, and
sister.
I'm okay with that one.
That was when a certain sister-in-law informed me there was no Mr. Right, there was only Mr. Compromise.
Mm.
Mm.
Wait a minute, my brother is your Mr. Compromise? Thanks for telling me that.
Well,
Boy, was she pissed when I found Mr. Right.
yeah, well, you know what?
But yeah, you
They
get
can
over.
only speak for themselves. They can't speak for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you get a certain age, you've had enough partners behind you. You know, like I say,
yeah.
we met
Like,
and married in 3 months.
that's the thing with Lucy and I too. Like we know what's up. Like I've had plenty of partners.
Hmm.
There's a whole slew. Don't go to raves like I did. On the other hand, they were fun. Uh,
I know what you mean.
the guys were cheap, but the girls were cheaper.
Mm.
Hey, I may be easy, but I'm not cheap.
Yeah, well, clean is the only thing that counts for me.
Not for you
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, you
But
definitely
just
won't clean.
yeah, like even at our first date, it was like I do this, I want this, and you either fit in that whole scenario or you don't.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's it.
But then I turned around and told my kids, my nieces and nephews, don't do what Aunt Donna did because you don't have the experience behind you
Hmm.
at
Yep.
19 and 20 that Aunt Donna did at 30, 31.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
To which
that's
their mother commented, I hope they don't get all that experience.
Well, yeah, give them all the experience in the world. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Not too much ugly.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't know.
Experience is experience for a reason.
exactly.
I always hated it when I was younger, and it turned out to be a case of wham bam, thank you, Dan.
Mm,
Yeah.
Bye.
after the first 2 failed engagements, that's kind of that's the kind of way. Of course, I always wanted to be the female Napoleon Solo who got
Mm.
all the girls. I wanted to get all the guys. I couldn't be a spy, but I could get all the guys.
Yeah, well.
I played the fifth. I'm perfect angel.
Not in being the Uncle Carl secret humor group, you aren't.
Yeah.
I figured
Well,
everybody needed
Not when you get your taco talked about forever. That doesn't even include 5 guys.
And 2 weenies.
Mike, didn't you ever watch that episode? Did
oh boy.
you ever see the Don's Taco episode, Mike Jimmy?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure you knew what we were talking about, that
Oh,
it
yeah.
was really a taco truck.
makes
Well,
it
they-
soft when you add water.
The funny thing is, there is one exit down from the where the Hallowcon Hotel is. There's the 5 guys.
At least not far.
I can get 5 guys here in Peoria.
True. She wants Waffle House.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
definitely.
There's one less than half a mile away from.
I know, and it's good.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm starting to talk like that again, Don.
Scattered, smothered, and covered. Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta get it
It's
chunked.
gonna be like it's gonna be. I just have this feeling, and I'm probably blowing this out of proportion, that it's gonna be like, hey, we're finally taking Dawn to the Waffle House, and it's gonna be like, we need a table for 25.
They don't have
Everybody
anything
brings
that
5 guys.
No.
I know.
No,
Did you just imagine eating that big?
we'll take about 6 of those booths and
Mhm.
line them up at the counter,
Yeah,
and
that's what
that'll
I
be the
mean.
whole Waffle House.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to go with Dawn to get her Waffle House cherry pop.
Everyone's
I
going
wouldn't have
to
put it
the old
quite like
Apple
that,
waffle.
but
No.
That's how I've been putting it. I mean, we popped Michaela Jade's Waffle House cherry a couple years ago.
What did she think of it? I never did hear.
She loved it. She loved it, yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
Waffle
definitely.
House knows how to do waffles. I don't like the waffles they do around here. They're hard and they're crispy, and I don't like them hard and crispy.
Yeah.
And yes, by the way, when Aunt Donna said that with the waitress the other day at Busy Corner said, would you like, are the specials of the day, or I don't even remember what the other special was blah, 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 and soft taco. And I went,
And I looked at Carl, and he was grinning, and I'm like, I know what he's having.
Yeah.
okay, you guys ready? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Carl goes, soft taco. And I had no poker face.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh,
that
boy.
would have been funny. But yeah.
they well, depending on the location, they do an excellent Western omelet, and the hash browns cannot be beat.
Yeah.
And after that, you're on your own as far as breakfast is concerned. Just whatever you like.
Yep.
I always get a waffle with peanut butter chips in it because I don't do maple syrup. I don't like maple syrup.
Yeah.
I don't even go for waffles or pancakes most of the time.
Yeah.
It's just give me eggs, lots of them, either scrambled or an omelet. Omelet?
How many of those foods do you have?
Excuse me. I got to lubricate that thing, but it ain't working.
I was gonna say it stopped working.
Omelet is the Romulan version of omelet.
Yeah.
What kind of eggs they use?
It's the armored version, yes.
It's
no,
out
no,
of this world.
It's the fancy one with all the jewels.
Pinky up.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh,
Now
Go.
I'm picturing Worf saying, "That's not an omelet, Romulan."
Who's beeping?
Beeping.
Oh dear.
yep. We got
Dang,
about
it's already 1:00.
yep. We've got about 7 minutes left, folks.
Yeah, 7 minutes. Time
Have
flies.
a
when
day
you're
of
having
work tomorrow, so la di da.
Yep.
There's always Saturday night or Sunday morning.
There's always Friday night.
Yeah.
That's true too.
But that's not last man standing. We found out that this is a little bit more risque than the green room.
It can be.
Okay, yeah.
It's
And
so
my
late at
ratings
night,
went up.
YouTube doesn't even care.
You're what?
What do you
It's
don't
so-
care about now?
No, it's so late at night that YouTube doesn't even care.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
no. What it is nobody will our show.
Except for that
So-
one episode.
Yeah, I can't believe Carl said power of my voice compels you. I'm like, what the heck? I don't know what you're talking about, Uncle Carl, but whatever you had in your coffee, that's some good shit.
That must have been the pure quill Jack Daniels.
So, what's that that drink you got? Statesman? Is
Yeah.
that the one?
Bourbon. Yeah.
How much is that down there?
It's around $63 a bottle. It's like 61 or 62.99.
Okay.
And you
That's
find it with the Old Forester bourbon.
Oh,
Yep.
Benny's has it. It's about the same price. He's talking about taking some down. I'm like, you do whatever you want to do.
Hey, he might take it, but he ain't taking it home.
At least there won't be any homemade moonshine this year.
No, it'll be all gone.
tomorrow morning to summon me, I will already be up because I have PT at 9:30. So don't worry about trying to summon me. I'll be there and gone.
Okay.
But yeah, that really was kind of weird.
My PT is not till 11.
So I'm just saying for the summoning from Nevermind to Furthermore.
You expect me to remember
the power
that.
of the Waffle House compels you.
Hey, that's some pretty powerful stuff there, Waffle House.
He's
Yeah.
me somehow to wake up and go, hey, it's Nevermind the Furthermore. Oh, look, I've just been summoned. Morning.
So,
They do a pretty good T-bone steak and eggs too.
Oh yeah, I've had those at Waffle House.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not huge.
Yeah.
But
well, if I want to, wait, never mind.
They've got a number of things. They've got
I can read
chicken
your
patty
mind
melt.
like a
They've
magazine.
got a patty
honey.
melt. They've got a steak melt.
They've got some pretty good food there. They just don't have a lot of room.
You know, but the idea is to get you in there and get you out and get the next one. And they are open 24 hours a day, so.
And unlimited coffee.
Okay, you got me.
And it's good coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if you like coffee, you need to watch Hoodwinked.
No, if I like coffee, I need to go make some coffee.
Oh,
I ain't watching nothing.
There's a particular scene in there that is hilarious. You'll understand if you watch it.
So do I have to watch the whole movie, or is if I just search Hoodwink coffee?
Well, you could technically watch that whole scene, but you wouldn't. The movie's good. I mean, it's for kids, but there's enough humor that adults would get a kick out of watching it as well. And it's got an all-star cast. Patrick Warburton's in it. Anne Hathaway plays Red. Andy Dick's in it. Exhibit, the rapper that used to host Pet My Ride on MTV, and then several other, actors of note are in it. It's a pretty good ensemble cast.
Anything with Patrick and it's got to be good, right? Or so bad that it's good.
Oh yeah, you have seen the live-action version of The Tick, haven't you?
Oh, of course.
Okay, that's hilarious.
But he also had a short-lived sitcom. What was that called?
God, I can't think of the name. It had.
How I Met Your Mother?
Huh?
Was it How I Met Your Mother?
No. He and I can't remember her
8
name.
Rules for Dating My Daughter?
Nope.
It had Oliver Hawn or Goldie Hawn's son in it. I remember all the guys, can't remember the girls.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it had. He was part of the married couple, and then they had the engaged couple, and those two lived in the same building. And then the guy from the engaged company worked for that little sleazeball, David Spade. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is it? Just Sheehan?
And then he had nope. And then his assistant was the guy that was in the United States of Al. Okay, I gotta look this up because we used to watch it.
I'm looking up. Yeah, it was hilarious.
It was good.
Evidently, I don't watch no television, but then again, we don't have television; we have streaming now. And even when
Rules of Engagement.
That's it.
Way to go, Chris.
That's it. Very good.
You win the prize.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
The Google Foo is strong with this one.
And it's about time to say goodnight, Gracie.
Yes,
Mhm.
it is.
Yep.
And it's right on time to say goodnight,
Yep.
Gracie. So
That damn good.
thank y'all for being here. We will see
Yep.
you tomorrow night and Saturday night, Sunday morning. And somehow
Go
or
good,
another,
guys.
we will find a way to top even this.
Go good,
With
guys.
sour cream. Good night.
Stay awesome.
Night, everybody.
Good
Good
night,
night.
everybody.
Roll up.
Transmission overload. System will shut down. 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 System will shut down.